Now, no immediate peace deal is expected to come out of this first round of talks, but diplomats are hoping it will lay the groundwork for a deal between the two countries. Well, let's get more on this with Bruno Lete. He is a senior fellow at the German Marshall Fund with a focus on security and defence. Well, good evening to you. Thanks so much for giving us some of your time. Now, as we were just asking Simon there, Zelensky is inexperienced when it comes to these matters, but how much support can he garner from Paris and Berlin as he gets involved in this very critical negotiating phase with Vladimir Putin?
Now, well, it's true. The president is new in politics, but I think that he also shown his ability to elaborate on a vision. And the vision is very clear here. He wants economic growth for Ukraine. And the president understands that to achieve economic growth, he will need peace. And peace can only be achieved if there's some sort of dialogue with Russia, some sort of normalization. I think in that vision, he is being supported by the European allies, and there is a shared interest there.
OK, there may be a shared interest there, but there has been a conflict that has been rumbling on and getting worse and worse over these past years. And experts, we were just saying, are saying a peace deal is unlikely. What's the best case scenario that could come out of these talks, in your opinion?
I don't think we should expect big results, but I think that we can hope and credibly hope for some sort of political signal that all parties are ready for peace talks and a peace plan from now on. I think for the very first time since the Maidan revolution, some circumstances have lined up where all the players of the Normandy format are more interested in peace than they are in status quo or conflict. We can go over them very quickly. Look, from a Ukrainian perspective, as I said, Ukraine wants economic growth, therefore it needs peace, therefore it needs some sort of dialogue with Russia. From a European perspective, Europeans have always been interested in geopolitical stability. But on the other hand, there are signals that Europeans are also interested in normalizing their own relationship with Russia. And having a Ukraine at peace would actually be helpful to do that, especially a normalization with Russia when it comes to energy relationships.
What's in this for Vladimir Putin, then? What's in this for Vladimir Putin?
Yeah, there the situation is more ambiguous. On the one hand, we could argue Russia has little incentives to change its current position of status quo. On the other hand, we also see that there may be economic incentives for Russia to work towards a more stable Ukraine. Why? Two reasons. On the one hand, a peaceful Ukraine would also mean that Russia would have an easier job normalizing its relationship with the EU. A normal relationship with the EU may mean that Europeans may soften the sanctions or lift the sanctions on Russia, which means that Russian businessmen would once again regain access to the European markets. So here's the thing. Russia holds the key for sure, but Europeans hold some of the keys as well.
OK, so incentives on all sides. Well, Bruno Lete from the German Marshall Fund, thanks so much for taking the time to join us this evening.